This is totally not Danzig, and you're listening to the Shred Shack.
Greetings, folks. I'm Dan Mack.
And this is Chris Mack.
Welcoming you to episode 111 of the Shred Shack podcast, your premier source of news and uninformed yet heavily biased opinions pertaining to all things heavy metal. Airing bi-weekly on iTunes, Mixcloud, Google Play, as well as YouTube on youtube.com/The Shred Shack and youtube.com/AdamantStemplum. Let's get started with some old business.
Business.
Old business is old business, and new business is new business.
I don't think we have any old business.
Not today.
All right, new business.
And this is new business, and we do not discuss new business until next quarter.
Now, with new business, we start off by talking about new album releases that we've been listening to. I have none, just because I haven't been paying attention to new album releases. So, what do you got?
I have Pelican, Nighttime Stories. Now, Pelican is an instrumental band, but not my typical instrumental band. My typical instrumental band being the noodling kind that kind of just plays a lot of notes in a short amount of time. However, this band is more riff-oriented. So, let's just say if Tony Iommi decided to release an entire album of riffs, it might sound something like this. Very heavy, sometimes melodic, but definitely very much based on groove and heavy. It's actually just a lot of fun to listen to. It's like a really good, catchy riffs and stuff like that. I highly recommend it. I think I've been following these guys for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is definitely not the first time I've heard the name.
Yeah, I think I definitely got into them probably before we even started the podcast. I want to say possibly, if not right around that time. I mean, so again, I highly recommend it for guys who are. I think they're considered post metal. I guess that's what I've heard them referred to as. But it's just really good music. You're not gonna get vocals, like I said. Just really good music. So check that shit out.
Okay. What else have we been listening to in the last 2 weeks?
All right, so I've been going back and re-listening to some new releases from 2019 because I finally updated my iPod for the first time this year, since forever. Some of the future S5 bands. I've been going through the Shred Shack email and my Instagram accounts and just kind of getting a good list of bands to feature on the next couple S5s. I got a couple episodes worth of bands coming up.
Okay.
And, of course, albums of the day. We got Vulgar Display of Power from Pantera.
All right.
The Blackening from Machine Head. Deep Shadows and Brilliant Highlights from Him.
Yeah.
Empath by Devin Townsend, of course.
Of course.
Of course. On Townsend Tuesday, we listened to Devin. Anyway, Baroness Purple, because I'm getting hyped up for their new album, which comes out today. Should be delivered to my apartment sometime today. And Centuries of Decay, self-titled album.
Right on. I had a Dead Soul Tribe kick during
Totally legit.
during the first few days of the 2 weeks. Not any particular album of their 5 albums. I listened to a handful of songs from each. I fucking love Dead Soul Tribe. I really wish that Devin Graves would do more with it. He hasn't done anything with the project since, I think, 2007.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's one who he's a little slow with the output, but what he does do is quite awesome.
Is he the main songwriter?
Yeah.
Of the band? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure even the original album was him in he locked himself inside his bedroom for 6 months and just recorded the first album.
Oh, so he does everything.
Yeah. Well, that was the first album. I think.
Virtually, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think for the rest of it, he had a full band.
Gotcha.
But the last thing he did was a Shadow Theory album, which was, I think, like 2011 or 12. I'm not sure what he's been up to since then, but I need something new from the man because I love his output. Cats, no fighting in the war room.
Jesus.
A lot of radio. I've been having a newfound respect for the playlist from Kiss FM.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting. It has been the same since 1994.
I will say that their playlist is still dated, but what they play, what they've been playing, has been impressive.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, like I heard a random Earshot song I wasn't expecting.
That is some random shit.
Not Falling by Mudvayne they played.
What?
I know.
What?
I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, so
Like,
it's still dated.
Here's a question though: what time of day was this?
This is midday.
Midday. Mudvayne.
Mudvayne.
Not Fallen.
Not Falling.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's still dated. It's still from 15, 20 years ago. But it's still it's starting to impress me.
You know what's unfortunate, and I don't think we talked about this, but our annual River City Rock Fest got canceled this year because they couldn't book anybody. Everyone else is busy doing, or the big name acts are busy doing like European festivals and stuff like that for the time frame that they were trying to book people. So they postponed it until 2020, which is a shame. I mean, it's a good enough reason to cancel instead of trying to like book anybody to play the show and disappointing the fans.
Yeah.
You know, and
Booking
probably
Def Leppard.
Yeah, and just getting like disappointing ticket sales. To save face, cancel the show, get better acts for next year. I think it's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, because the last I heard, they were really trying to get some good names.
I mean, they had Ginger lined up. I mean, obviously that would have been like a secondary act.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's definitely a little bit more outside the box than they have gone in the past. So it might be something like they were trying to get something really, really big.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they were aiming high, and unfortunately.
I mean, especially with like a band like Slipknot releasing a new album this year.
Yeah. Or
like even Killswitch Engage is supposed to be releasing an album later this year, probably around the same time the event was supposed to happen. So probably if they try to book a band or two or three like that, it was also supposed to be the first time it was supposed to be 2 days, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, they tried, flew a little too close to the sun.
But at least they didn't book the show and then, like, again, lackluster ticket sales, and then ultimately would have just led to probably the
cancellation of
the show as a whole.
Yeah. So, take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
So let's go on to let's call it information.
Information.
And we're gonna start with, unfortunately, obituaries.
Yes, Andrea Matos. He was a former lead singer of the Brazilian metal band Angra and Viper. He passed away at the age of 47. His death was confirmed by his ex-Angra drummer Ricardo Confessori, who also played with Matos in Shaman. Ricardo wrote on his Facebook page, "It is with deep pain in our hearts that we say goodbye to Andrea once again, this time definitely." Andrea performed previous Sunday, from when this was written, June 2nd, at the Espaço das Americas in São Paulo with Shaman, and also made a guest appearance with the show's headliners Avantasia. A couple days later, it was updated on his actual Facebook page. He passed away of a heart attack on Saturday, June 8th. because Andrea was a extremely reserved person who made it clear while he was alive that he did not want his family to have a wake for him. The 47-year-old will be cremated or was cremated in the presence only of relatives. This is according to his Facebook page.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, damn, 47. Great singer. I remember first hearing him from the Avantasia album, and I was like, fuck yeah, this guy's voice is awesome. Because he sounded like Dio.
Ah.
Like, I thought it was Dio at first.
Probably, if you know what, listening to like some of the Angra stuff that I have, I probably would have made the same assumption.
I'm unfortunately not as familiar as I should be with Angra. They're on my list, my to buy list, but
yeah, I have a bunch of their stuff burnt, and then it's in my collection now. Probably because of you, actually, because all the CDs have your handwriting on it.
Really?
Yes. Yes. This is probably before the days of our external hard drives, because it's in my collection of burnt CDs I have.
I was gonna say I don't have anything on my computer, so I must have burned them to CD and then that was it.
If you want them, come through.
No, I will purchase them shortly.
But they seem to be prolific enough. There's several albums in there.
Oh yeah, I think the last album it was a few years ago, but otherwise they have a bunch of albums.
Yeah.
So, but I need to work on that. Let's move on to general news.
All right. Five Finger Death Punch has confirmed that Charlie, the engine, that's fucking great, is laying down the drum tracks for the band's 8th album, due later in the year. He made his live debut with Five Finger Death Punch during the band's fall 2018 tour with Breaking Benjamin. He stepped in for Five Finger Death Punch original drummer Jeremy Spencer, who left the band in December, who we later found out this week is now a reserve cop somewhere.
Yes, I heard about that. It's kind of like Matt Barlow working for Homeland Security.
Mm-hmm. Melvins have been forced to cancel their previously announced European tour, which was scheduled to kick off on June 15th in Bristol, England. Drummer Dale Crover broke the news of the cancellation in a Facebook post. He wrote, "Dear friends, I regret to inform you that I have to cancel our upcoming European tour. I've been dealing with a back-related injury, and I'm unable to perform at this time."
That sucks.
Yes, it does. I do think it's kind of cool that the band would cancel a whole tour just for their drummer. You know, you hear about bands usually getting like a fill-in guy for a tour or something like that, and they're just like, nah, fuck that, we're not playing without him.
Maybe they couldn't find anybody, or like you were.
I think Mike Portner wasn't available.
I can play that.
It might be a little toned down for him, but
it'd be like that one of those videos is like he's in the wrong band, and like it's like the guy at the wedding video who's just whacking away.
It's like, Mike, I don't think we need 3 kick drums. But
the entire stage is taken up by his drum kit, and like the rest of the band is kind of like off to the side.
We work around Mike. All right, a new Rush film, Cinema Strangiato, and an annual exercise in fan indulgence, will get a one-night-only cinematic screening on August 21st. The film, which takes viewers behind the scenes of Rush's 2015 40th anniversary tour, will feature song performances, unreleased soundcheck and backstage footage, and new interviews with producer Nick Raskulinecz. Okay. And Rush fans Tom Morello, Billy Corgan, Taylor Hawkins, violinist Jonathan Dinklage, and more.
I gotta say, I love the name of the film.
Cinema Strangiato?
Well, no, an annual exercise in fan indulgence.
Oh.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
It's just so.
Rush is a band that's very, very self-aware.
It's so tongue in cheek. It's great.
Yeah, they're very self-aware, not only of themselves but of everything around them.
The next one's gonna be called "Here You Go, You Fucks."
I don't know if you've seen it, but their documentary Beyond the Lighted Stage.
No, I know it's on Netflix, and you've mentioned it before.
I was watching it one day when you were going to work too.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I happen to really like the style and the way that Sam Dunn, who did that documentary, does his stuff. I mean, he's the one he did Global Metal. He did Metal: A Headbanger's Journey. He did Metal Evolution series on VH1. He's just very, very good, and very, very authentic and genuine in presenting these stories. All right, last but not least here for general news is Weimar Publishing. Weimar has set a September 12th release date for Richie Blackmore, A Life in Vision, which is a limited edition deluxe photo book. Limited to 1,000 copies, the book will only be available directly from the publishing website. If you order now, your name will be included on a dedicated fan page. This new deluxe book, compiled by Blackmore photographer Jerry Bloom, is the perfect companion to his 2006 biography, Black Knight, as it portrays Blackmore's career with photos and memorabilia from 1958 to the present day.
Fucking 58.
Yo.
I guess that's pre-band.
Yeah,
stuff.
they mentioned further on in the article about his early career before Deep Purple, and there's a lot of stuff. I'm like, wow, okay.
I'm just vibe
I think he was a band member for some famous singer. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. I'm sure somebody does, but there's a lot of stuff. I was like, wow, that's I had no idea he was a part of that.
Oh, it makes me think of like Dio. Dio was part of bands since the mid '50s.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So let's go on to the crime blotter.
All right. According to TMZ, Amen. This band that's been around or was around a while back.
Yeah.
Their frontman, Casey Chaos, has been arrested for allegedly assaulting a woman in his Los Angeles home. The singer got into an argument with the woman early Tuesday morning. This is, I believe, this week. And the dispute eventually turned violent. Police were called, and when they showed up, they found the woman with a bloody face. The alleged victim refused medical aid on the scene. Casey, whose real name is Karim Chimlinsky, was arrested and booked for felony domestic violence. However, TMZ reports that Casey told cops the woman is not his girlfriend, and he was adamant they weren't in any romantic relationship. The 53-year-old musician was released on $50,000 bond.
It's not your girlfriend. It's not in a romantic relationship, but you still beat her.
Yeah.
So
that defense doesn't really hold water.
Yeah, no one really gives a shit what relation they have to you. It's still that you beat them, you idiot.
Yeah. One piece of crime blotter news that I did not get to. Apparently, Till from Rammstein was accused of assaulting a gentleman at a German bar recently.
Really?
Yeah. I have no details because, again, I just saw it scrolling by and I didn't get a chance to copy and paste it to our script.
Gotcha. I thought you were going to tell me worse.
No.
Considering Rammstein and some of their exploits.
No.
I thought you were going to tell me worse.
No, it's probably someone running their mouth off and, drunk and getting smacked in the face or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah. All right, so let's go on to Metallica breaking shit.
All right, this is from June 7th, so last week. I'm sure it'll come again in the news this week, but Metallica has topped Polestar's Live 75 chart for a fourth consecutive week. That was last week.
What's Polestar's Live 75?
I'm not really 100% sure, but I believe it's just probably the top selling live tours going on right now, because they mentioned their last couple gigs, and they've been averaging about $5 million a pop, selling so many X amount of tickets, yada, yada, yada. But speaking of Metallica, they just recently played Ireland, first time in a decade, I believe it was.
Yeah.
75,000 people showed up to this castle to see them play.
Yeah.
And, of course, because they were in Ireland and paying tribute to Phil Lynott, they played Whiskey in a Jar.
Of course.
Which I would love to have seen live.
That would have been good. Let's go on to my favorite section.
Feudin'.
I hate you.
I know. According to the Associated Press, a federal appeals court agreed Monday, June 10th, to give Led Zeppelin a new hearing to defend a jury's favorable verdict in a suit that claimed the opening lines of Stairway to Heaven had been plagiarized from the 1968 instrumental song Taurus. Last September, a federal appeals court decided unanimously to overturn a jury's decision that Led Zeppelin's 1971 classic was not a ripoff of Spirit's song. So, alright, so a little backtracking here. They went to court. One jury decided that the song was not a ripoff. Then, this last September, a federal appeals court decided unanimously that it was a ripoff, overturning that previous decision. Mm-hmm. They are now granted a new hearing to appeal again.
Can we just stop? Can we just get over it?
I guess not.
Guys, both songs are ridiculously old.
Yeah, I think the only problem I have with this is that this lawsuit didn't come until 40 years later.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be some kind of statute of limitation for these sort of things.
Yeah.
There really has to be. They'd be like, yo, listen, you've been listening to the same song for 40 years, and just now you're coming forward? Now?
Yeah.
Really? No, I think there really has to be some sort of statute of limitation for these sorts of things. It's stupid.
It's just annoying. Alcoholica.
Alcoholica. So Metallica, the namesake for this little section of mine, has welcomed Rob Dietrich as a new master distiller of the band's recently launched brand of whiskey. He is a veteran in the spirits and music industry, and he will oversee the sourcing, blending, and cask finishing of barrels for each batch of blackened American whiskey. Dietrich joins the blackened team following the tragic passing of his predecessor, Dave Pickerell, who died suddenly last November in San Francisco, where he was scheduled to take part in the annual Whiskey Fest event.
Right on.
All right, you ready for some merchandising? Merchandising. Now this,
I see merchandising, and then I see in big letters "Kiss."
well, this is the best part about this is that this is merchandising about merchandising. So check this out.
Okay.
The complete and authorized story of the 70s and 80s Kiss merchandising craze that swept America is the focus of a massive new coffee table photo book titled "The Hottest Band in the Land," or "Hottest Brand in the Land." So apparently this is just a photo book of all
the cool shit you can get.
Of all the cool shit you could have gotten in the 70s and 80s.
That's just madness.
So it's a piece of merchandise about merchandise.
It's a fucking catalog. That's what it is, okay? That's what it is.
Yeah. This is the Sears catalog of coffee books right here.
Yeah, it's gonna become like the way that people tell how much Kiss shit they have.
Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of private collection stuff here in this book. So yeah, it's probably ridiculous.
Oh my god,
just ridiculous.
That's madness.
So before we get into actual new recording news, a little bit of thing I read here on. I didn't read the whole article again. I just saw the blip in my scrolling. I didn't get a chance to copy and paste it. But there was a massive fire somewhere. I think it was in Universal Recordings or something like that a couple years ago, and they just, I guess, completed the investigation. And apparently, things that got lost in this fire included master recordings by bands like Nirvana, Nine Inch Nails, and more. So, like, Nevermind, the master recordings of Nevermind are gone forever. So, I mean, that sucks.
Yeah. Quick thing. Unrelated, well, technically unrelated to that. When we were house hunting, one of the houses that we were that we had been looking at actually had a built-in studio.
No shit.
It was owned by somebody who does stuff.
Did it come with the house?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Like they turned their garage partially into a studio.
That's pretty badass.
But the guy had stuff on his walls that were like band related, like the kind of things that you get when bands hit certain points.
Like milestones, yeah.
Yeah, and like one of the things up there was like for the Nine Inch Nails Broken EP, and I was like, I want to fucking steal everything in this man's house so bad. I want to steal all your shit and run.
Nice.
I really I wanted that place. Like there were so many elements to that place that I wanted. Steal all that shit. All that shit.
All that shit.
All right, so let's go into recording news.
Recording news: The Agonist will release its new album "Orphans" on September 20th via Rodeo Star Records.
Right
and
on.
I listened to the new track that they posted with the article, and I actually really liked it. I don't think I've given them enough chance with their new singer after Alyssa left.
Yeah.
But I really did dig the new track. It's heavy as shit, and I remember. I think one of the tracks that I listened to when they first got the new singer Vicky, that she was mostly just singing, so she didn't have like the growling that you associate with the Agonist.
Yeah.
But she has that now in the new song. It's actually really good.
Cool.
So I probably will end up picking this one up.
Cool.
Stone Temple Pilots will release Purple Super Deluxe Edition, Double Secret Probation Edition on September 13th for $64.98.
That is a
Very specific amount of money.
That is a deluxe edition then.
Yes, it's 3 CDs and 1 LP. It includes a newly remastered version of the original studio album on both CD and vinyl, plus unreleased versions of album tracks and rarities, along with an unreleased full concert recording from 1994. On the same day, the music will be made available both digitally and as a 2 CD deluxe edition. Not a super deluxe edition, just a deluxe edition. The previously unreleased acoustic version of Big Empty is now available digitally.
So it's no longer 12 Gracious Melodies.
No. No.
It's going to be like 36 some odd Gracious Melodies.
Yep. Alright, Clutch will release a collection of newly recorded songs, Weathermaker Vault Series, this summer. The effort will include the band's cover of the Willie Dixon 1950s classic Evil, which was later recorded by Cactus.
Right on.
Sevendust guitarist Clint Lowry will enter the studio this weekend to begin recording his first solo album. Humming the disc will be Michael Elvis Beschetti, who has previously worked with Sevendust, Alter Bridge, and Slash, among others. A late 2019 release via Rise Records is expected.
I'd be down for that.
I love Clint Lowry, his voice. I love his guitar playing in Sevendust. I love his side projects. I think it was one was Call Me No One. That's one he did with Rose, and then Dark New Day, which he did with, I think, with his brother. Mm-hmm. And all of his work is really good. And I think, if I remember correctly, this is going to be more acoustic based. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll probably end up being really good.
Cool.
So.
Right on.
Flying Colors, which is the prog pop supergroup featuring guitarist Steve Morse from Deep Purple, keyboardist Neil Morse from the Neil Morse Band, Transatlantic, and ex-Spock's Beard, bassist Dave LaRue of Dixie Dregs, Mike Portnoy, who can play that.
Trying to see if I can find the clip, but
Well, just so you know, he plays in Sons of Apollo, the Winery Dogs. He was also in Avenged Sevenfold for a hot second. Oh, and this little band called Dream Theater.
and Adrenaline Mob.
Adrenaline Mob.
I could play that.
Yeah, he's been everywhere.
He's been a little bit of everything. And vocalist Casey McPherson, who's an Alpha Rev, will release its third album, Third Degree, in September via Mascot Records.
Right on.
I really want to check them out because I've been seeing. I think I have their live record that we got from Skateboard.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Right.
So I definitely want to check them out.
Okay.
Speaking of Sons of Apollo, they will release live with the Plovdiv Psychotic Symphony on August 30th. It documents the band's remarkable one-off performance at the Ancient Roman Theater in Bulgaria, alongside a full orchestra and choir playing tracks from its debut album Psychotic Symphony, as well as a selection of tracks by legendary bands. It will be available as a limited edition, a limited deluxe 3D DVD Blu-ray art book special edition. Okay, let me start again. It will be available as a limited deluxe 3 CD, DVD, and Blu-ray art book, special edition 3 CD and DVD digipack, and a standalone Blu-ray and digital album.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it does. It does. Whoa.
Right on.
This is a band I want to check out too because the people in it are just incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Mike Portnoy because he can play that.
Yeah.
Derek Sherinian, Bumblefoot, Billy Sheehan on bass, and Jeff Scott Soto.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a band I want to check out.
That's a pedigree right
Yeah,
there.
that's a super group to pretty much definition super group. All right, Apocalyptica has completed work on the long-awaited follow-up to its 2015 album Shadowmaker. The Finnish cello rockers recorded the new all-instrumental disc over a 3-month period at Sonic Pump Studios in Helsinki.
Right on.
This will be one of probably their first instrumental album in a long time, actually.
Really?
Last 3 records have all featured guest vocalists.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an all-instrumental album, and they say it's been inspired by their current anniversary tour of Apocalyptica, Metallica, played by 4 cellos.
Gotcha.
All right, Finnish heavy metal monsters Lordi will release their new DVD, Record Dead Live, Sexorcism in Z7. Okay, it'll be on DVD, vinyl, and digipack on July 26th via AFM Records.
I've seen them live, and they are quite good live.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're better when they have a bigger stage, because I saw them at Fitzgerald's, which is
Right.
it's
Yes.
a little bit of a small stage for them. I'm sure they have a much more elaborate stage set when they're playing big shows overseas and whatnot, which is I'm sure is where this was recorded.
I don't remember where it was recorded. They go on and on and on.
It was probably like
European something.
Yeah, it was probably their homeland or something like that.
Possibly. And last but not least here, Alter Bridge will release its 6th studio album, Walk the Sky, on October 18th via Napalm Records.
Right on.
There it is.
All right, so we have nothing for The Good That Men Do.
Unfortunately, we do not.
I don't have anything for the crowdfunding tracker right now.
Yeah, I still have just the one from the obituaries bassist, I believe, his daughter who passed away.
Yeah.
But that's well past its goals. The goal was $30,000. It's at $31,585. So I think we can kind of close the books on that one.
Right on. So let's talk about concert news. And first thing up is festivals.
All right, Guns N' Roses, Post Malone, and Beck will headline the 21st edition of Voodoo Music and Arts Experience, taking place October 25th to the 27th, 2019 at City Park in New Orleans, Louisiana. There's definitely a mixed up lineup.
Considering the thing with like when Guns N' Roses announced the Not in This Lifetime tour, and we had so much to say about it, I kind of now regret not seeing the show.
I'm almost there.
Yeah,
I'm almost there because I'm also very much a very, very high proponent of Murphy's Law. Is like the one time I go to see Guns N' Roses, that's when they'll fuck up.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I'm kind of wishing now I had bit the bullet and taken the chance and gone to see.
Well,
them.
you have plenty other opportunities. They're playing ACL this year, and they're supposed to be recording new music. So
yeah, that's something exciting.
There's definitely a possibility that this might not end anytime soon.
Because I was listening. I'm one of the few fans of Chinese Democracy. And I was listening to some of it earlier this week. So I'm excited to hear what they're gonna sound like, because it's not gonna obviously. There were so many different factors at play in Chinese Democracy, like considering how many different people played on that fucking album.
Yeah.
But we're talking about our core Guns N' Roses.
And Slash hasn't really changed his style for a while, really.
Yeah,
he's Slash's Snake Pit and the one he does with Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators and the Pops and the Pips.
Yeah, and,
it's still hard, heavy, blues-oriented rock.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to hear what they're gonna come with, because they say that Axl Rose has a lot of stuff prepared, and so I'm wondering, are they gonna go with what he's got prepared? How much influence is he gonna have over what's gonna come out of all this?
Yeah. Or is the band gonna break up while trying to record this thing again?
Probably. I can see that happening.
Yes.
So.
All right. Shipwrecked set sail for an 11th year, February 1st through the February 6th, 2020, on board Carnival Valor, with a sensational music lineup led by Hailstorm and Alter Bridge. Departing from New Orleans with stops in Key West and Cozumel, the ultimate rock music cruise vacation features performances from over 24 music artists, including Shipwrecked debut of Asking Alexandria, plus Beartooth, Of Mice and Men, Blackstone Cherry, Bad Flower, and many more.
Cool.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to go on one of these heavy metal cruises.
Yeah, I've never been on a cruise in general.
Me neither.
So a cruise of that kind would be
definitely
up my alley.
Yeah. All right, last bit of festival news here. Los Rages makes its highly anticipated return to the downtown Las Vegas Event Center on Friday, October 18th, and Saturday, October 19th. Music fans from all over the world will journey to Las Vegas to see huge acts perform on 2 intimate stages. Created by Live Nation, Los Rages will feature performances from Rob Zombie, Bring Me to the Horizon, Chevelle, The Used, and more on the F and U stages, along with brand new on-site experiences for 2019.
Why the F and U stages?
I don't know. Why the F and U stages? Why did Jeff Tate release one album under the Queensryche name as Frequency Unknown? Why?
So let's go on to some touring news.
Crocus will extend its last ever tour to include dates in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico.
Right on.
Revocation has announced another North American run for the fall, this time co-headlining with Voivod.
Wow.
The special tour will also see Revocation play its latest album, The Outer Ones, in its entirety. Psychroptic,
Yep.
Skeletal Remains, and Conjurer will join as additional support.
Right on.
Municipal Waste will team up with Napalm Death for a co-headlining U.S. tour. The 17-date trek will kick off in Dallas on October 3rd and visit New York, Chicago, and Denver before ending on October 23rd in Los Angeles. Open the night are Sick of It All and Take Offense.
I'd see that.
That would probably be a really badass show.
Yeah.
Really badass show.
Yeah.
Sebastian Bach will celebrate the 30th anniversary of Skid Row's acclaimed self-titled debut album with a U.S. tour where he will perform the record in its entirety plus other songs from his celebrated catalog. The tour will kick off in Nashville, Tennessee, copy and paste on August 30th
Totally
and will
did.
end in Pinellas Park, Florida on November 2nd. There is a San Antonio date on October 23rd at the Aztec.
Man, you copy and pasted that shit.
You better believe it. Of course I did. All this stuff's copy and paste. Are you fucking kidding me?
Celebrated catalog.
Celebrated catalog.
Man, I can
Hashtag
Dick Slurp.
no San Antonio date yet. Alice Cooper has announced his fall 2019 tour plans. He will embark on a spat of An Evening With headline tour dates this November, beginning November 3rd in Florida. Additional dates will be announced shortly.
If one comes here or near here, I would go see that just because
It's An Evening With.
Yeah, it's An Evening With, and I have yet to see Alice Cooper headline a show. I have always seen him open for somebody. I've seen him for like 3 times, and he's always open for somebody.
Wow.
So.
Well, that's because it's past his bedtime. He's an old man. I mean, the show's going to be like 3 in the afternoon.
he's got to make up for golf.
He gets tired during the day. All right, Jeff Tate has confirmed that he will celebrate the 30th anniversary of the band's landmark Empire album. And that's his other band, Queensryche, that band he was in. Anyway, that band's landmark Empire album on a special tour next year. Speaking to misplacedstraws.com, he is quoted as saying, I am planning on touring in 2020 very heavily, sort of doing kind of what I did with the Operation Mindcrime 30th year anniversary, going to as many countries as I can and playing the album in its entirety, which I've never done before. He says it'll be really fun. In fact, he thinks there are some songs on that album that he's never ever played live before, so it'll be really good for him and the fans.
I would totally see that.
Well, the last experience we had seeing Operation Mindcrime live was fantastic. So
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Well, Operation Mindcrime in and of itself, like you knew that him playing that album was going to be great. But there are some songs from Empire that I would love to hear live. Anybody listening would be one of them. Like to close out the show or to close out a segment of the show would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, since there's probably no other way they would pull that out, this is probably the best way. So I'd totally go see that.
Hell yeah. We'll be looking for tour dates coming soon, hopefully.
Oh, if he's gonna tour as much as he says, then I hope he comes around here.
All right, Demon Hunter will perform more than 20 songs each night at a series of special shows this summer. An Evening with Demon Hunter is an epic mixture of fan favorite anthems and deep cuts that have never been performed live. Both electric and acoustic presentations will feature songs that span the band's 10 studio albums, including their most recent War and Peace, which were released simultaneously earlier this year.
Speaking of evenings with,
Right?
yeah.
Periphery has announced its first North American headlining tour in support of his new album, Periphery 4, Hail Stan, kicking off a month of shows on September 9th. No San Antonio date.
Not yet.
Nice. Nah, I think for that specific run, they don't have any.
God.
But we will see. Alter Bridge will head out on a worldwide tour beginning in September. The trek will launch in the United States before heading over to Europe to close out 2019. The The European dates scheduled for November and December will feature support from Shinedown, Sevendust, and The Raven Age. The North American dates will be announced in the near future. The band will also take part in the inaugural Exit 111 festival in October and the sold-out 2020 sailing of Shiprocked, as we already mentioned.
Right on.
Helmet will celebrate its 30th anniversary by embarking on a tour of Europe and the U.S. this fall. The 30-city trek will see the band perform a 30-song set each night with no openers. So again, an evening with Helmet.
Damn. A lot of bands doing evening withs.
Plus 30 fucking songs? That's got to be a long set.
I didn't know they had that many songs.
Neither did I. Neither did I.
All right, let's go on to one-offs.
One-offs. Soundgarden, live from the Artist's Den, will be shown exclusively at IMAX theaters around the world at a special one-night-only event on July 1st. So here's a little backstory here. On February 17, 2013, Soundgarden concluded a sold-out U.S. winter tour in support of King Animal, their first studio album in over 16 years, with a special live from the Artist's Den taping at the Wiltern in Los Angeles. Soundgarden mixed new songs with classic radio hits and rarities performed live for the first time in front of a rapturous crowd. Rapturous. The concert has become the all-time most requested Soundgarden live show for an official release. The 29-song, nearly 2.5-hour show encompasses the band's rich musical legacy spanning their early years with Hunted Down, through their monumental albums Bad Motorfinger and Super Unknown, respectively, with Outshined and Black Hole Sun, and to their final record with nearly every song from King Animal, including By Crooked Steps and Been Away Too Long. Live from the Artist's Den features 21 songs never before released on a Soundgarden concert film, including 17 making their first appearance on a live album, and highlighted by Blind Dogs, which the band performed on stage for the first time ever at the Will Turn show.
Damn.
Yeah.
That does sound like it should be. It sounds like something that should be released on DVD.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah.
All right, last but not least here for one-offs, we have Megadeth. Will celebrate the 25th anniversary of its platinum certified 1994 album Euthanasia by playing the record in its entirety on October 31st at the Fillmore Auditorium in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, man, that's got to be a show.
Yeah. That's the album that got me into Megadeth.
That's a great album.
Yeah, that is. I remember my buddy gave me a tape of that. Cassette tape, dude, of that record. And it was like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Reckoning Day, Training Consequences.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Great album.
Yeah.
So let's go on to heavy metal in the charts.
So we got a noteworthy point here. Dragon Forces, Through the Fire and Flames, were certified platinum by the RIAA on May 23rd for accumulating 1 million certified units. And remember, according to the RIAA, one equivalent song unit is equal to a single digital song sale, or 150 on-demand audio and or video streams. So this does include YouTube. We're learning now.
I thought they well surpassed that. I thought we had a thing about them recently.
I think it may no. I don't know.
All right, well, either
That's
way, that's cool.
Yep.
So let's go on to top 200. What's top 5?
Top 5. Number 1 is a new album by someone named Thomas Rhett, whatever. He's got an album called Center Point Road. Exactly. Number 2 is Billie Eilish, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Number 3 is DJ Khaled, whatever, father of Ashad.
Don't know anything.
Yeah. Number 4 is Khaled, just not DJ Khaled, whatever the fuck.
That's gotta
His
be.
album Free Spirit. And number 5 is a new EP from Miley Cyrus called She Is Coming. Side note here, apparently she was on a new episode of the show Black Mirror, where she plays a pop star, and I think the show features her doing a remake of Head Like a Hole by Nine Inch Nails, and I think the lyric is "I'm on a roll." So, yeah, there's that.
Okay.
Apparently, though, it's not for a pop song. It's not bad. So,
Okay.
so I haven't listened to it. So maybe one day I'll check it out.
One day.
Maybe not.
I've heard the show itself is good.
The show itself, I've seen one episode, one of the new episodes, and I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Scrolling now.
All right, scrolling. Scrolling music. I need to find some scrolling.
Okay, number 22 is the Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack. Still very much up there in the top.
Oh, it's gonna be up there for a while.
Very, very high up there.
Still prominent.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, here we go.
I need that intermission music from Offspring.
I prefer the intermission music from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh.
Yeah, get on that. Anyway, number 50 here is the Rocket Man soundtrack. Now, Rocket Man is the biopic of Elton John. Side note about that one is director of Rocket Man, Dexter Fletcher, was the one who signed on to finish Bohemian Rhapsody when Bryan Singer was let go for being a douche.
By the way, while you're scrolling, Lindsay and I watched Kingsman Golden Circle.
Oh, yeah, the second one, okay.
Yeah. And Elton John plays Elton John in that film. He is the highlight of that movie.
Oh, well, that makes...
He drop kicks somebody.
No!
Yeah.
What?
It's
Done! Seeing this movie.
First of all.
Wait. Just say this again, though.
He like
Elton John drop kicks a motherfucker.
It does, because you know how the action scenes go, and they do the slow down stuff and everything. He jumps in the air and kicks this dude. It is so.
Is
good.
it better than the Shaggy 2 Dope drop kick on Fred Durst?
Oh, it's way better than that. It actually connects. But there's a bit where he because what ends up happening in the film is the villain is hiding in some secret thing in Cambodia and ends up kidnapping Elton John to personally play for her, like whenever she wants, and he thinks he's being rescued, so he's sitting there singing Wednesday Night's All Right for Fighting. Obviously Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting is the song, but he's like, what fucking day is it? He curses so much in that movie, it's amazing.
Oh my gosh, I need to see this movie.
But like he's like, what fucking day is it? It's Wednesday, and he beats the shit out of this dude. And then beats up two other guys. And like he's dressed up in the full-on like feathery regalia.
Oh no! I gotta do it. I gotta see it.
His role in that film is like number one.
I think it's on demand on one of the movie stations or Netflix or something. So yeah,
he makes that movie, and Saturday Night It's All Right for Fighting is one of two of the big fight scenes.
Sweet.
Like how Freebird was the church scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, like during the big fight scene, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting is the song.
That makes so much sense.
The other one is Word Up. It's a remix of Word Up by Slade.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's not the Korn version?
Not the Korn version,
no.
No. But it's a remix of that, and it's both scenes fucking really good.
Awesome. Well, while we're here, number 51 is The Greatest Hits by Queen. Mm-hmm. And now we're scrolling again.
Back to scrolling.
The Best of Everything, Tom Petty, Heartbreakers at number 66. Creedence Clearwater Revival is at number 70. Greatest Hits by Journey is at number 71. Beatles 1 is at number 80 from 98 last week, interestingly enough.
You ever listen to while you're scrolling Jack FM? While you're
What's that one?
it's
Is that here?
1027. Yeah, it's here.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, it's a station that their mantra is we play what we want, and they played Come Together this morning.
Well, speaking of come together, Abbey Road for the Beatles 102. New album from Kenny Wayne's Shepherd Band, The
Really?
Traveler, is at 103.
Wow.
Did not know he had a new record out. Haven't been following him, so
Yeah.
it's not that big a surprise, actually.
I'd see him live again though.
Hell yeah. Fleetwood Mac Rumors is at 116. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, Greatest Hits 122. Eagles Greatest Hits 124. Yep. Leonard Skinner, the all-time Greatest Hits, is 135. Back in Black, 136. Chili Peppers Greatest Hits 145. The Dirt Motley Crue 152.
Yeah, random story while you're still scrolling.
Well, I got 158 is a re-entry for Nirvana's Nevermind. You got Mothership Led Zeppelin at 162. The Black Album is at 165. A Decade of Destruction by Five Finger Death Punch is at 167. Almost there.
Okay, so
Bon Jovi, fucking Rolling Stones,
you
Greatest
know
Hits.
when bands do like these greatest hits and they record new songs or they have,
Yeah. We're done with the top 200, by the way.
Wow, that's
sucked.
depressing.
Yeah, so
That
now
was
finished.
160. So it makes me sad when they focus on the song I like less. You know, because like I have a live album from the Chili Peppers, and they play one of the two songs that they did on the Greatest Hits album, but it's the one I hate. I don't hate it. It's a good song, but I would have loved them to play the other song, especially because the ending of it has some vocal interplay by Anthony Kiedis and John Frusciante. And hearing that live would have been freaking amazing.
I think I feel the same way about the two new songs that were recorded during the S&M show. While No Leaf Clover is a fine song, Minus Human was a much better song. It was far heavier than No Leaf Clover, and I think it would have probably served a very good. Like, I would like to see it live again, just with the band playing it. I think that'd probably be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I haven't heard much about that one being played in general.
Yeah, I mean, No Leaf Clover still gets played every once in a while, you know, because it was a huge hit for them.
Yeah.
But Minus Human was just such a good song,
Yeah.
I thought. And it's a shame that it didn't get as much recognition as No Leaf Clover did. So I feel your pain.
Yeah.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, so.
All right, so you ready for the top 25?
Top 25.
25, And Justice for None, Five Finger Death Punch. 24, 3 Days Grace X1, or 1X, my bad. 23 is Toxicity, System of a Down. 22 is Rage Against the Machine, self-titled. 21, Zeppelin 4. Number 20, Experience Hendrix, The Hendrix. 19 is All the Right Reasons from Nickelback. Number 18 is Meteora, Linkin Park. Number 17 is Humanicide by Death Angel.
Ooh, wow.
Yes. Number 16 is The Greatest Hits, Three Doors Down. Number 15 is The Greatest Hits by Foo Fighters. Number 14 is Rammstein, self-titled.
Right.
Number 13 is The Story So Far, The Best of Def Leppard. 12 is Aerosmith's Greatest Hits. 11 is Hybrid Theory. Number 10 is Greatest Hits 1, 2, and 3 Platinum Collection Queen. Number 9, Greatest Hits Bon Jovi. Number 8, A Decade of Destruction, Five Finger Death Punch. 7 is The Black Album. 6 is Led Zeppelin Mothership. 5 is The Dirt soundtrack. Number 4 is Back in Black. Number 3 is Greatest Hits by Guns N' Roses. Number 2 is the Greatest Hits by Queen. And number 1 is Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack by Queen.
So not too much has changed.
No, a lot of these are on the uptick.
I was going to say the Led Zeppelin Mothership, that's pretty high.
Yeah, that was. Well, the thing is, all these are up by like 1 from last week. Remember, last time we did this was 2 weeks ago, where Rammstein, I believe, was number 1.
Mm-hmm.
But all of these albums that we just mentioned are pretty much on the uptick by 1.
Yeah.
By 1.
Gotcha.
Which actually makes sense because all the bands that went up by 1 are ahead of Rammstein. So yeah, everyone moved up 1 when Rammstein went to 14.
Gotcha.
And that is it for Hard Rock in the Charts.
Right on.
Yes, sir.
So, 2 things before we close out the show. We haven't done an I Saw show for a while,
Oh shit.
and I went to go see a show.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't gone to too many shows lately, but I went to go see a little bit of. For those of you in San Antonio, Herb at Herb's Hut. He had a birthday party over the weekend at Fitzgerald's, and usually he has a celebration and has a bunch of bands play in honor of his birthday. And so I obviously I couldn't stay for the whole thing because I had work the next morning at 3 in the morning. So I caught 3 acts while I was there. One of which was Evil Kim Evil, which was a 1-woman band.
No.
Very,
Sure.
very, very strange compared to the rest of the choices on the set list. But it's basically noise rock. It was a lady with a guitar, a bass drum setup, a snare drum setup, and a hi-hat. The snare and the bass drum were set up with pedals, and hi-hat was there to be smacked. And she basically would do poetry. It was kind of very Lou Reed-ish. They're very strange in that regard. When I was talking to Herb about it, he said that it was something that Andy Warhol would have been into.
Mm-hmm,
She's a little anachronistic, a little out of time. But it was interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. And a very short set, unfortunately, little over 20 minutes. But very, very strange. But I liked it.
Cool.
I thought it was different. But in a strange way to start the show. But then Helgrim came on, and Helgrim, always good. They're going on tour soon. I love the album, and they, according to Jerry and Erica, Jerry never stops writing music, so a lot of the stuff that they played was stuff that was new.
Oh, so it's not even on their
No,
CD
no,
that they just released.
No, I'm pretty sure when I saw them live last, their album had just come out, and they were playing newer songs beyond that album at that show. But they always put on a good show. Little sound difficulties for Jerry part of the way through the show, but they fixed it, no problem. Excellent show, cool. And I went outside afterward, and Carrie Asher was doing open mic. Carrie Asher is basically, I believe she described it as folk punk. It's basically her an acoustic guitar, and she's playing acoustic songs. Mostly her own stuff, which is very good. She does some covers. She covers Pearl Jam, Jane's Addiction, and whatnot. But usually when I have a chance to see her perform, I take that chance. And so I caught 7 some odd songs, and then I had to go.
Right.
So, but good time. That was my I Saw a Show. New thing that I want to include in this show, every podcast, it's called Shit I Want.
Shit I want.
Shit
I like it.
Want.
I like it.
Okay. And I came up with it this morning.
All right.
Okay, I came up with it this morning on the drive home from work. And it's basically it's going to be supergroups or songs done by certain artists or something like that, or songs, just shit I want. And here is mine for today.
I like this. I got one already. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, so you can go right after me. But what I want is a version of Final Countdown by Arion, sung by Damian Wilson.
Oh, dude, that's like my man crush right there. You serious?
Because I'm listening to the song and I'm like, the vocal style
Yes.
matches what Damian is capable of.
Oh my God, yes.
And I think that would work phenomenally. And with the keyboard heavy Arion,
Yes.
and always covering random stuff like that, I think that would be a fantastic cover. That is a thing that I want.
Oh man.
Final Countdown covered by Arion or Star One or something like that. Damian Wilson on vocals. That is the shit that I want.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That would be amazing.
That is incredible.
Because they've done the covers that Arion has done have always been great. We're talking On the Slime by Frank Zappa. We're talking Space Oddity in all of its versions, because there's the version sung by Arion himself. There's the version that's sung by I forget his name, but he was on Human Equation.
Yep.
Veteran of the Psychic Wars from the Arion solo album.
I love the Hawkwind medley that they do.
Hawkwind medley. So any cover song is always very good when done, when put into the hand. No Quarter.
Oh, that's right.
The version of No Quarter that they did.
Yeah.
I'm Elected, or Elected by Alice Cooper with Tobias Sammet. Always covers by Arion are always good. So a cover of Final Countdown in his style with Damian Wilson on vocals would be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm totally in for that.
So what do you got?
For me, it's not so specific. Mine's more general. I miss the days of the early 90s where albums were more than 45 minutes long.
You want longer albums?
I want longer albums, and I really liked my specific example is Tool's Anima, where the album itself, like, the songs are great, but then there are also the interludes between songs. I miss the creativeness that bands used to put in between songs to make it, not necessarily to make it longer, but to just kind of expand the auditory journey of the album itself. I think albums tend to be a little bit too straightforward at the moment. Like, everyone's just kind of churning these things out, 8 tracks, 35 to 40 minutes long, or so on and so forth, and they just there's no continuity, I guess, maybe between tracks. Like I miss the interwoven interludes between tracks. I miss tracks bleeding into each other. You know, kind of like the most recent one I can think of that is kind of like that is Empath by Devin Townsend. It's like an hour and a half long. It feels like because it's like 70 something minutes. The last track is like 6 tracks long, 23 minutes of interwoven music leading one into the other. Mm-hmm. Is very reminiscent of those albums. But like I just miss those long albums from the 1990s that keep your attention.
Yeah.
You know, I want something like that again. You know.
Yeah. Well, Arion, Theory of Everything.
Yeah, I mean, there are examples that these things, but this was a common thing in the '90s, even into the early 2000s. Like Mudvayne's LD50, not necessarily the longest album, but it was a 17-track album, probably 13 tracks worth of music and 4 tracks of interlude, you know, and I love albums that are broken up like that. Love them so much. Because it's also very reminiscent of like stuff like Pink Floyd, where like Dark Side of the Moon is pretty much essentially one continuous piece of music, essentially. I just love that sort of thing. I love it, and I think it actually adds more creativity and thought into an album instead of just recording the songs that you have and releasing it.
Yeah.
You know, I just wish there was a little bit more things like that.
Yeah.
You know, I've been pining for that for a while, actually, and I'm glad you did this.
As long as it's not necessarily doing it as separate tracks, I'm not keen on.
I am, because then, like, if you are in a position where you don't want to listen to the interlude, you can skip it. So it's not as in.
My only issue is with shuffle on iPods.
I can see that.
That's my only issue.
The thing is, but then you can just simply delete the tracks you don't want.
Yeah, but I don't do that.
I know. That's what you don't do.
That's what I don't do. So.
No, I feel your pain on that one. I've experienced that on shuffle. The thing is, I'm also considering it as a musical experience from beginning to end, because that's how I like to listen to albums too. Beginning to end, continuous piece of music. Continuous flow, you know. Again, a lot of the bands I listen to really much just like record what they have and put the albums out, which I love. It's fine, but I really miss the days of really long, creative, thought-provoking, and just like again auditory journeys from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. You know, where you don't want to skip a track.
Yeah.
You just want to go from the next song, from the first song to the last song.
Yeah.
You know, I miss those.
Gotcha. So that's going to become a thing on our show.
I like it. That's a good one.
That's a new segment in general. I think we're going to add. It's Should I Want.
And there's one thing that I did not know I wanted, but I totally got. The new cover of Godzilla. That's done by the guy. I think it was one of the guys who did the soundtrack for the new movie, Godzilla King of Monsters. Mm-hmm. But it features performances from Brandon Smalls of Death Clock, I think Gene Hoglan, and vocals done by Serge Tankian. And it's so fucking good. It's so good. Like I said, I did not know I wanted it, but I wanted it so bad.
I have not heard it yet, so I will have to.
My favorite thing is that it's at the end of this movie, and I took the kids to see it, and they liked the movie, but they love the song.
Yeah.
So that just makes me a proud daddy.
Yeah. All right, so I think we're gonna close it there because Warrior needs food or sleep or something badly.
Possibly both.
Probably sleep.
Definitely sleep. Definitely sleep.
Yeah. So until next time, I'm Dan Mack.
And this is Chris Mack.
And we are the Slime.